now. So
Cool.
so welcome to our team call. This is Nate Rosano. Am I saying that right? Rosano?
Rosano. Yep.
Rosano, nice. For our team members who don't know, I met him at Leadership, and I just appreciate your energy and how excited and passionate you are, and I just thought it'd be really great to get you on a team call, especially, oh, that's okay, Tara, you're doing fine. You're on here. That's all that matters. So I thought I'd get him on here. He is 5-star diamond, Success Club 10 legend, which means he's working his business. So, you know, I would say that if Instagram has gotten him that far, we better listen up. So I am just going to turn it right over to you, and I will make sure everybody is muted as they hop on. Looks like we got a few more people that have popped on. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for coming. So I will mute all, and I will unmute you, though, because we need to hear what you have to say. Ah! Oh, goodness. There we go.
We all set? All right. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I am so honored to teach on Instagram because it's something that's really helped me with my business for the last 3 years, honestly. And I'll go ahead and I'll give you my story a little bit. I've been a coach now for 5 years, actually a little more than 5 years. When I first got introduced to this company by my mother, she basically begged me to join for 6 straight months. And I said no to her every single time she would call me on the phone. I thought she was crazy for doing this kind of thing. I had a real job, and I was working 60 hours a week as a restaurant manager, and I wasn't happy. I mean, I didn't hate my job, but I wasn't happy. I knew that the company wasn't where I wanted to be long term. So I was stuck as far as knowing what my career was going to be. So at the end of 2010, my mom called me again. It was like one of the last days of the month. It was actually December 30th. She called me and said, "Hey, you know what? There's a promotion going on right now where you can sign up for free. There's no $39.95. I don't even know if there were challenge packs back then, because there probably weren't. Just like you could sign up for a free player membership, you could become a coach for free." So I did that, basically just to get her to shut up. I did that just so she could stop bothering me, stop calling me, and I was very reluctant. And so I did it. But then after I did it, I had this idea that, you know, okay, I've got this business now. I'm a salesperson now, so I'm going to be able to sell some stuff. So that's exactly what I tried to do. I tried to be a salesperson because that's what I thought this business was about. So I made up these flyers on my computer that said like P90X, Insanity, Shakeology. And you know when you walk into the grocery store and you see like someone who loses their cat, and there's like a pull phone number tab where you can like pull up their phone number. I made about 50 of those flyers, and I thought it was pure genius. Hung them up all over town. I was thinking my phones are gonna start to blow up and people are gonna want P90X and Shakeology. Well, after 3 months of hanging up these flyers, I got 0 phone calls. So I was like, this is messed up. I guess nobody does this stuff. And but I was doing P90X and drinking Shakeology. I loved the results I was getting. So I actually put the business on the back burner because I wasn't seeing any results. I basically quit the business, but remained a discount coach for another year until my mother invited me back down to a conference. I was actually living and working in New Jersey, and she was living in Virginia. So she invited me down to this conference. I gave her every excuse in the book. I had no money. I couldn't take time off work. So she basically begged me to come down and go to this conference. But really, I was just going down to see the family. I had no intentions on learning anything at this conference. She was just dragging me in the doors just so she could be happy. And so, but I had an open mindset, I guess, when I was in there because it changed my whole world. That conference made me realize that this company was a company that I wanted to be with long term. And I made the decision that very day that I wanted to be a full-time Beachbody coach. Had no idea how I was going to do it. Had no idea how to even start, but I knew that it's what I wanted to do. So fast forward, at the end of 2012, I had made my goals. I laid them all out. And I said by the end of 2013, I'm going to be a full-time Beachbody coach. And in March of 2013, 3 months after I had laid out all these goals, I discovered Instagram. And it's cool to talk about this, but it's not like I'm bragging about it. And I wish everybody could have experienced this. But my Instagram, like the start of this success was almost instant, because there were no other coaches on Instagram when I started building my business on there. There might have been 3 or 4 coaches, but less than a dozen for sure. And so I was one of the very first coaches who started building their business on Instagram. And I posted about a challenge group, thinking that I was just hoping maybe 3 people would join. But the next day after I posted it, I had about 17 people who wanted to join my Insanity Challenge group. And not all of them joined, of course, but a few of them did. And then I was like, all right, I guess this is working. So I posted another thing for a Shakeology Challenge group. And I had 3 women who responded to my Shakeology Challenge group. And one of them is now my wife. So that's where that story ends there. I am married to one of my very first challengers, and we met through Instagram. Had no idea who she was. I was just a stranger to her. She, I guess, found me through, I don't know what page. She started following me, and the rest is history. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get right into the meat of this call and teach you guys how I was able to build my business. And the cool thing about this duplication process is it's still working. So even though I had that immediate success in the very beginning when I started building my Instagram, this platform has, I don't even, last time I checked, like 30, 40 million people. I don't even know. Millions and millions of people are on this platform. Of course, it's worldwide, but there's a lot of people on here from the US and Canada, people who we can help. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. So make sure you're taking notes. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So number 1, you want to make sure that your Instagram is public. All right, that's one of the most very important things. If you're building a business really on any platform, it's very difficult and almost impossible to do it on a private platform, because you want to be seen, right? You want people to be able to find you so they can connect with you. I like using, I guess, the analogy that if you're running a business on a private platform, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, it's basically like putting a big closed sign on the front of your door, and that says "keep out," because you obviously don't want anybody to see who you are and to see what you're all about if your profiles are private. Now, I've had several different conversations with especially worried mothers who have small children. They don't want wackos seeing their kids and stuff like that. And so my response to that is usually, if you're taking pictures of your children in public places, don't post those if you don't want other people seeing them, because quite honestly, the internet is not private at all. If people want to see stuff, they're going to find it some way, somehow. So if you don't want it on the World Wide Web, don't put it anywhere on the World Wide Web. But honestly, I mean, this business is an attraction business, right? We want to attract like-minded people. So mothers out there who are worried about their children's pictures being online, if your brand is mothers, and if you're trying to attract other mothers, the only way that you're going to do that is if you share pictures of your family. So, that's my bold statement there. If you really want to attract the right people into your business, you have to share who you are and what you're all about. And because that's the only way that your target market's going to find you. That's the only way that your target market's going to become attracted to who you are. All right. So number 1, go public. Number 2, create an attractive bio. Now, I'm embarrassed to say right now, I've been a little bit, I guess, dead on Instagram today. I haven't made my recommended 2 to 3 posts. I think I've just done 1 or 2, maybe 1 today. So I'm slacking a little bit. But if you want to go to my Instagram page, my username is Nate Razzano. That's NateRazzano. You can see how I have my bio set up. All right. I encourage all my coaches who are building their business on Instagram to have an attractive bio. I love using emojis. I love putting emojis before every single line on my bio. That's just the way I've seen the majority of successful Instagram coaches build their business. And just honestly, not even coaches, but successful entrepreneurs on Instagram build their business, is they have that attractive bio with your email if you want that, or your Facebook link, or your Snapchat handle if you're on Snapchat. I just recently I just recently started using Snapchat. I've known about it for years, but I never really knew that you could build a business on it. So I'm learning so much more about these different platforms, because I don't want to have all of my eggs in Instagram. I mean, I know we're supposed to stick to our niche, and I do stick to my niche for the most part, but I do also want to be present on other platforms. So I just recently started using Snapchat. And so it's been working good. I mean, it's a great platform. But anyway, so the attractive bio, and when you're able to put a website link into your bio, and I recommend putting either your website, not your Beachbody website, but if you have a blog, or if you have a self-hosted website, or your Facebook. I do not recommend putting your Beachbody website where it takes people to your shop, because people who go there don't usually buy something without you knowing. So don't send people to your website. Don't have that open door there unless you know exactly what it is that you want to help somebody with. Me personally, I don't share my website link with anybody. I don't ever even use my website link. I enroll every single person with the Coach mobile app. And that's how I've been doing it now for the last 1.5 to 2 years. However long we've had the app, I've been using it since then. And I don't ever send anybody to my website unless they're already an existing customer. I'll get the Coaching Codes link from Coaching Codes or tvblinks.com. There's a few different ones, and now there's some pretty cool apps out there that some coaches have made where you can you can get direct specific links for products. So those are very good tools to have. All right. So the attractive bio, and one thing I do want to tell you is you cannot make different lines in the Instagram platform. What you have to do is you have to go into a notepad or Word and type out your bio and then copy and paste it into your Instagram, because there's no enter button on the Instagram. I don't know why, but you can't do that. Same thing goes with when you're typing out your posts. If you want to move different lines, like if you want to space out your captions in your posts, you have to type it out in a notepad or somewhere else, copy and paste it into the caption instead of just typing it out into while you're putting it on Instagram, if that makes sense. All right. So number 3 is your content. And we talked about a little bit, about your target market. I'll be honest with you. It's very hard for me to say that I have a target market because 95% of my coaches are women. So, I don't tell people that I target women. That's just how it works. It's just how it works. And so, but I'm not that, big buff guy who's just out there to recruit all the men. I'm about bringing in anybody onto my team who's passionate about helping people change lives, and we know that this business is dominated by women. So I take advantage of that. I mean, I say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to just limit my business to men. I know there's a lot of men in this business who have a very hard time recruiting because their mindset is, okay, I got to just recruit men. And I honestly feel like a lot of men are missing out because of that, honestly. So, all right. So your content, number 3, stay consistent with your content too, and post post more towards your brand. I mean, really, I mean, if you're like heavily into yoga, you know, I would post lots of different yoga things. If you're heavily into, I don't know, crafting, you know, post who you are and stay consistent with that. But make sure you're also posting about what you're doing with your fitness journey, you know, or being a product of the product. That doesn't mean blasting pictures of Shakeology every single day. You know, we wouldn't do that on our Facebook, so let's not do that on our Instagram either. So you know, we want to make sure that we're not that coach who everybody hates, because we're always like just beach body, beach body, beach body, beach body. We want to be have balance with our posts. And I post a lot of motivational posts. I do a lot of quotes. And people usually, those are the pictures that usually get the most attraction, the most likes, the most comments. So I've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years of being on Instagram, and that I feel like that's really worked well for me, because whenever I have someone who sends me a friend request, which we'll talk about bridging in a little bit, the first thing I say is, your posts are so inspirational. And I know it's not my posts and my cheeseburger or my French fry. It's not that I post that, but no, it's mostly the motivational posts, and they're not even my posts, really. I mean, I do make some of them, but I share other people's content, and I think that's the cool thing about this. Any social media, you know, we're able to do that. We're able to share other people's stuff, because I'm not the most creative person in the world. All right. So your content's very, very important. And I would say post 2 to 4 times per day, and throughout the different times a day. I don't teach my team to post at like 12 o'clock and then 3 o'clock and then 6 o'clock and then 9 o'clock. I know those are like big times, but really, I mean, I just say post 2 to 4 times a day. You know, you might see me make my 2 to 4 posts between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. sometimes. I mean, but I try to get 2 to 4 posts in there per day. All right. Number 4 is your target market. All right. What are your interests? I want everybody to write down and think about 3 things that they love. You know, we'll go to, you know, snowboarding, I don't know, biking, crafting. I recently just took on a new hobby, and it's been a complete failure so far, but I'm learning how to make my own kombucha. So I'm going into a lot of different kombucha pages, and so and following people who are doing that too. So find hobbies that you enjoy that aren't Beachbody. You know, don't just think that, okay, 21 Day Fix and Max 30 and Shakeology. No, stick to like hobbies that aren't associated with Beachbody, and start following these people, start interacting with these people who are using hashtags that align with your target market, with your goals, with your hobbies and your interests. All right. So it's very important for us to do that, because we will attract like-minded people. And that's one thing that I've been doing for the past 3 to 4 years of doing Instagram. All right. Number 5 is hashtagging. I'll be honest with you. I was never really a huge fan of hashtagging when I first started building this business on Instagram. I thought hashtagging was, a waste of time, and I didn't really see the value in it. But very recently, I've been learning a lot, especially from Gary Vaynerchuk, about how hashtagging really has changed social media in such an amazing way, because people are using hashtags now to search different things. And so if you're hashtagging stay-at-home mom and snowboarding and stuff like that, stuff that that are associated with your hobbies and with what the pictures are that you're posting, people are going to search those and they're going to find you. So I recommend 6 to 8 hashtags per photo. Now, it used to be, if you've ever taken a different Instagram training, a lot of people may have taken Chalene Johnson's Instagram Impact. She teaches that you want to put your hashtags in a comment so you can delete it and then post it again later, so it bumps the picture back up. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Your pictures are now posted in real time. So once your picture is posted, it's always going to be in the same place, no matter how many times you use a hashtag to bump it up or do whatever. So putting your hashtags in the caption or in the comments, it doesn't really matter anymore, and that's what I teach my team. You might still get some people that will tell you that it looks better in the comments, but really, I think for time purposes, I would rather just put them in the caption. That's just not my personal preference. So number 6, we are going to get into the biggest part of this call, and that's the gaining a following. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. So there's 2 methods to this. I'm going to share with you the method I used, which is a very intense method, and then I'm going to share with you a method that I use sometimes that is a slower method, but it still works. So the first method is called the follow-unfollow method. Now, if you heard, I think her name is Jen Richardson. I think she did the National Wake Up Call like 2 weeks ago on Instagram. She talked about how she follows a bunch of people, and then she'll unfollow the people who don't follow her back. All right, so that is the follow-unfollow method. You're following people who are within your target market. So you're going into, let's say you like snowboarding. You're going into a snowboarding page, maybe a brand of a snowboard. If they have an Instagram, you're going into there, and then you're going into their followers, and then you're following all those people who are following this snowboard brand, if that's your brand, or if that's one of your hobbies. So you're picking and choosing these different groups, these different accounts that you're going to go follow people from. Now, I'll say this. Hopefully, nobody would think to do this, but don't follow other people. Don't follow other coaches' followers. Don't go into other coaches' followers and start following their people, like Janelle Summers or Lindsay Matway or big coaches who might have like 20,000 people who are following them. All right, don't be that coach that does that. Go into accounts that don't have to do with Beachbody. Now, I will tell you, you can go into this is, and I do this sometimes. It is okay to go into program pages like 21 Day Fix and stuff like that, because there are not millions. There are thousands of people who follow those pages, and only about 80% of them are coaches. Now, my take on following other coaches is do it. Follow as many coaches as you want, because the more coaches that follow you back, the higher your following count is going to be. I have 22,000 followers right now. Probably about, I would say maybe 10,000 of them are probably coaches. I would definitely don't think that it's bad to follow other coaches, because it's putting your name out there too. And people are going to see that you're dominating Instagram, and they're going to want to learn from you. So, and that's only making the network better too. So, and the reason, I wouldn't stay in these pages a lot. I go in these pages very, very rarely, but I stick mostly to other pages that aren't associated with Beachbody. But when you're going into other pages like 21 Day Fix, for the most part, you're looking for those people who are not working with a coach, who maybe got a bootleg program and they're just doing it because maybe their friend gave it to them or something like that. So I'll tell you, I have met a lot of people who've gotten bootleg programs, and then they're now coaches, or they're now customers of mine, because I reached out to them. And of course, if they have a bootleg program, they're not going to have an account or a coach that's associated with their account. So I'm not an advocate of bootleg programs, but I'll just tell you, there's a lot of them out there. So there's a lot of people that are doing them, and they all need coaches. So, all right. So follow, unfollow. So the follow, unfollow method. So the whole point is you're following a bunch of people, and my rule of thumb, it used to be an actual maximum amount of people that you could follow per day, or per 5 minutes, is 50. So they've changed it. I think now you can follow 200 people every 5 minutes, but I still stick to 50 people. So when I'm teaching my coaches how to follow new people, I say follow 50 people every 5 minutes. All right. Now, when I say that, I don't mean go into every single person's profile, look at their pictures, see if their dog's cute, and then follow them. No, I'm going to even show you right now. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can, let's see if I can do this. Give me 1 second here. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah? Cool. So here we go. So this is my profile. So when I want to go follow someone, let's say I like going to Whole Foods just because I love Whole Foods. So I'm going into their profile, and I'm literally just going to follow people. All right. Now there's some people I skip, like I'll skip someone if they don't have like a picture, but really I don't go through people's profiles just to see who they are. I'm going to follow them. Now the cool thing about the request part is when you request someone, it sends them a notification that you've requested to follow them. They're then forced to go into your profile to see who you are. That way, they're going to see if you're somebody that they want to follow back, and for the most part, the majority of people that follow you back are going to be from those private accounts because they were forced to go into your account. Their phone gave them a notification that they got someone who's requesting to follow them, and then they're then forced, into your profile. So that's very, very important to understand. And then so at the end of the week, so 50 people every 5 minutes, but no more than 200 people per day. So you don't want to follow more than 200 a day. Now, you can follow Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. I teach my team on the weekends to unfollow everybody that they've followed through the week, and then start from scratch again the next week. So like Jen Richardson said, she unfollows everybody who doesn't follow her back. I take this a step further. My goal for Instagram is to provide value to other people with my content, with my posts, with my call to action posts. So I'm not scrolling through my Instagram news feed every day to see what other people are doing. I'm providing value to them so they can see what I'm doing. And so that's how I've been able to gather people to my Facebook. So I take it a step further than Jen does when she taught this on the National Makeup Call. I unfollow everybody. So at the end of the week, everybody is basically unfollowed. All right. And then I start from scratch at the beginning of the next week. So in the beginning, you might be following more people than are following you. It might take you a couple weeks to get your count up to like 500, 1,000, 2,000, but it'll happen. And so I have 22,000 followers right now. So my following right now is more of an organic thing. I'm not using the unfollow method as much as I used to in the beginning because I've gained a following, and so I do it sometimes. But most of my following is more organic now than anything. But when you're first starting out, using this unfollow method is very, very important. Or you can use Chalene Johnson teaches this, the 5-3-1 method, where you go into people's profiles, you like 5 of their photos, you comment on 3 of them, and then that in return should give you one follow, because people are seeing that you're paying attention to them, and they're going to see that they want to follow you, and they follow you. So 5-3-1 method: comment on 5 photos. Like 5 photos, comment on 3 of them, and then that will turn into 1 follow. All right. Number 7 is engaging with people's photos. So if you're doing hashtag searching, what you're going to do is, if you're going to go into stay-at-home mom, go into that, and you're going to find pictures of mothers and comment on those pictures. Hey, whatever you want to say. If you're into snowboarding and you're going into people's profiles and you're seeing pictures of that, interacting with those people. And so what I do is I do what I call bookmarking. I'll bookmark my photos by liking them. And so when I do that, all the photos that you've liked go into a different, there's a setting that you can go into your Instagram, and you can view all the photos that you've liked. So any photos that you comment on, like those too, because that will bookmark them, and you can go into the photos you've liked and see if people have responded to your photos. That makes sense, because if people respond to your comments, unless they tag you, you won't get notified. So you need to keep track of what photos you're commenting on, who you're interacting with, and the best way to do that is to like the photo and then go into photos you've liked, and you can see if people have responded to your comments. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. Number 8, we have a couple more. Number 8 is bridging. I bridge all of my people with call to action posts. I'm very, very big on giveaways. If you guys see, sometimes if you're following me, you'll see that I give away 1 bag of Shakeology every month. All right. I don't invest in Facebook. I don't invest in ads. I invest in giveaways. So some people might invest $50 to $100 on Facebook ads. I don't do that. I invest $90 on a bag of Shakeology that I'm going to give away to somebody in each month. Sometimes I do like a workout program like Body Beast or P90X, but for the most part it's Shakeology, because that's going to give me the most friend requests. So my call to action, my bridging, is I make a post on Instagram that I'm giving away a bag of Shakeology. I tell them in order to get entered into the drawing, they have to send me a friend request. And so they do that, and then I enter them into the drawing. I first make sure that they're not working with a coach, and then I have them make a free player membership, and that is their entry into the drawing. All right. Now, when you're starting off, if you want to do giveaways, I wouldn't recommend doing a whole bag of Shakeology, because I have 22,000 followers. So, once you get to that point, you can make that large investment. But I would start with maybe just a couple samples, or maybe a fix-a cookbook, something small like that, if you want to do giveaways in the beginning. All right. Number 9. Number 8 was bridging. Number 9 is all about building relationships. So I build the relationship on Facebook. I get everybody who follows me, who wants to be part of a challenge group or a giveaway, I get them over to Facebook. And that's where I build the relationship. All right. So once I bridge them over to Facebook, that's where I form them. When I make my posts for a Shakeology giveaway, or sometimes I'll do a challenge group or a test group if a new product comes out, I only leave that post up there for a couple of hours, and then I delete it, and then I'll post it again maybe a few hours later, or the next day, or a few days later, depending on what it is for. Over the next couple days, you'll probably see me posting a lot about 22-minute hardcore, and I'll make my posts maybe in the morning. I'll delete it, make it in the afternoon again. I'll delete it, and then I'll make it again in the night. I don't want the same post being put on my Instagram more than once, because it makes it look spammy. So whenever you have the same post you want to use over and over again, always make sure you delete the old one before you post the new one. All right, we have a couple minutes left. So yeah, that's forming people. That's the last one. And then really, I just want to talk about third-party tools. I don't use them. I don't use third-party tools. I don't use Instagram. I don't use someone else on one of my last calls told me about something else. I don't even remember the name of it, but I don't use third-party tools. I'll tell you real quick why I don't use Instagram, and it's more of like something that hit me in the heart a little bit. If you guys don't know what Instagram is, it's a system where you can tell the computer to automatically comment on people's pictures or like people's pictures based off of hashtags. So it's triggered by a hashtag. So if you have Instagram and if you've ever gotten someone that commented on your picture that said something like "so cool" or "that's awesome" or "way to go" or "rad" or something stupid like that, I call it stupid. It was probably a bot that did it. And the reason, if anybody uses these, I apologize, but the reason why I don't recommend this is because I have a friend who told me about this picture that someone commented on. Her son has autism, and someone commented on the picture and said something like, "This is so cool." And it was a Beachbody coach, and it was triggered by a hashtag. So you never know what pictures your comments are going to be put on. So when she told me that, I said, I'm never using this bot service because I don't want comments being put on pictures and I have no idea what they are. And so that's my spiel on that. So that's it. I know we're going to run out of time, but if anybody has questions for me, they can definitely send me a message because we're probably going to be kicked off in a second.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
that
okay.
was so good. I'm like, my mind is like, yeah, I'm going to have to watch this recording myself again and probably fire away some questions. We might need to have you on another call.
Yeah, for sure. I can do, if you want, if people are willing, we can open this back up for a Q&A if you want to do that.
Yeah.
For a few minutes. You want to do that? You want to close it and then get people back in?
Yeah, I would. I don't know if anyone else wants to stay on. If you have to go, that's totally fine. But
I don't have to go. No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. I will. What do I do to start again?
Oh, just end it and then we use the same link.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's try that. All right. Be right back.
All right.